Hi, Melanie. It's great to see you.
Good to see you, Alison.
And Melanie, you are the sleep specialist, Melanie Lovatt. Tell me about yourself.
Well, Alison, I work with people who struggle to sleep, either because they don't know how to maximize their sleep, or they don't know how to sustain that.
Great. So sleep is so important, isn't it? I know that if I have a bad night's sleep, it's not my quality of day is definitely deteriorated. So it's really important. So today, my name is Alison Marsden, by the way, and I help people rebalance their diet. And we're going to talk how sleep and diet can interplay with each other to improve your sleep. Sleep's the main topic, although we will diverge around in food to help us see how that improves our sleep. So,
I'd just like to say, Alison,
yeah.
I'm finding that more and more people I meet are just drinking 1 or 2 glasses of water a day.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And it's so that they don't get caught out needing a wee when either they're at work or they're out and about. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to check in with you. How much water should we be drinking a day?
Well, as varies, we're all different sizes and we live in different climates. We do different things. I know that if I'm at a computer and indoors most of the day, that's a very dehydrating environment. I need to drink more water. If I'm out and about in trees, in the woods, I might not need to drink so much. So it does vary. But generally, I would say you want to be drinking between 1.5 litres and 2 litres a day. But if people are drinking tea and coffee, that might be quite a lot of liquids. And this is why I say substitution is the key. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so maybe we'll come on to that in a
Yeah.
little bit. Does when we talk about drinking water, does it need to be pure water, or will a herbal tea or a soft drink do?
Yes, that's a really good point. So even teas that are are caffeine free,
Yeah.
they've still got a diuretic effect on the body, which means it causes it to go to the toilet. And if your body's dehydrated, you might not want to lose that liquid. So that's why it's really key. And also going back to what we were talking about earlier, if your diet is consisting of crisps, energy bars, um, oat cakes and rice cakes, they're all very dehydrating foods. Whereas if you're eating fresh fruit and vegetables and soups and salads, they've got much more hydration in them. So diet is a key thing. So, and also when you start tasting the water on your lips, your body then says, ah, water's on its way. It arrives in the stomach and it does something different to water. It filters it straight off. It doesn't put it at the bottom of the stomach because the stomach's that funny shaped thing, isn't it? And it scoots it off and puts it into the small intestine. And so, if you're having flavored drinks all the time, the body doesn't thinks it's food. It thinks, oh well, that's not water. So put it at the bottom of the stomach, and then that if you're eating as well, it's not so easily absorbed, and then maybe your digestion isn't so effective because all your digestive enzymes are diluted as well.
Right. So basically, the body treats pure water differently than it treats, say, a soft drink or a herbal tea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And that helps with our digestion
yeah,
and and our hydration.
and our hydration. Yeah. Going
That's
back to
really
what you said earlier about going to the toilet, people need to know strategies on how they can go to the toilet. Because if they're thinking, oh, I don't want to drink water because it means I'm going to have to go to the toilet and that's not accessible, that's no excuse for not drinking water. We need to change our society so people feel as if they can go to the toilet. It's a fundamental need in us. Yeah.
yeah, it is a fundamental need.
you know, if we're constantly, because when we're dehydrated, it creates a stress response in the body. So if we're constantly dehydrated, we've got this background stress going on all the time, which isn't good for us. Yeah. So you may say, right, I'm going to time my drinks so that I can drink something at breakfast time, get in the car or tube or walk, whatever. And then when I get to work, I give myself time that I can go to the toilet before I get to work. And then you think, right, I'm only allowed to drink so much water because I have to wait until my break. Yeah. Or you could organize it. Say, no, I really need to go to the toilet at 10 o'clock, and organize it so that you can go to the toilet. So one of my clients, she has to clock in and clock out. So every time she goes to the toilet, she clocks out. So she's not getting paid to go to the toilet.
Wow.
And then clocks back in again. I say, well, just allow yourself to do that. Surely that's better than getting really stressed, dehydrated, which causes you a health condition further down the line.
So you're saying, Alison, instead of thinking, oh, I won't drink this because I might need a wee, we should be doing it exactly the opposite way round. I am going to drink this, and I know where I'm going to have a wee should I need it.
Yeah. So I time mine because I've got clients' home visits, in person, online, at clinics. So I do a lot of things out and about as well. So I think, well, I've got enough time to walk somewhere, walk back, pop to the toilet. And I live in quite a rural area, so I think, right, I'm going to jump over that fence and pop to the toilet there. Or I'm going to go past that hotel. I'm going to go into that hotel.
Yeah.
Hotels are quite good to go to the toilet because there's so many people there. No one knows that you're not staying there at night. And if someone does ask you, just say, oh, I'm just checking this out. I'm just passing, thinking of staying here in a couple of months.
Or I just pop into a cafe and just ask them. I say, is it okay if I use your loo? And they invariably say yes.
Yeah. You know, we need to feel okay about going to the toilet. It's a fundamental need that we have. And I think schools have a big issue with that because kids don't drink water at school because they don't want to go to the toilet. So, you know, my son comes back home and drinks 2 litres of water in a few hours because he's not drunk anything all day. So, and that's the thing with exams. They might have a 2-hour exam and they want to keep hydrated, but they don't want to go to the toilet in the exam.
Yeah.
So
I think this occurs across a lot of professions as well. Like teachers and doctors can find they have such a hectic schedule that they find they're not drinking water.
Yeah. It's about changing your work schedule the best you can, making your plans so that you can actually organize it. So you can just drink water.
Yeah. Okay. And why do we need to drink water, Alison? What does it do for us? Why is it so crucial?
Well, we're made up of 95% water. We are water. Yeah. And we lose it. And also, our body needs to eliminate our waste products. Yeah. And in that process, it needs water to do that. So we're constantly rebuilding ourselves. Think of yourself as a process rather than something static. We know our hair grows, we know our skin replenishes, but the same on the inside. Every cell is constantly being broken down, regenerated all the time. Yeah, and we need water to do that, just like we need protein, carbohydrates, fats.
That's good to know. And you mentioned as well I find fascinating points. You mentioned that a lot of period pains can be caused by dehydration.
That's it. So I was one of those. I used to take medication for my period pains. They were so bad it would make me feel sick. And I realized, and at that time I was just drinking half a glass of water in the morning. That's all I drank. I had cystitis as well. So I consider cystitis as another potential that you're dehydrated. It could be other reasons as well, but so I started the journey of drinking 2 litres of water, and I would take the 2 litres of water to work with me, and I think by the end of the day that bottle needs to be empty. So, and it took me a couple of weeks to, it was hard work because I wasn't thirsty.
Yeah.
Water.
I think this is a common problem. People say, well, yeah, I know I don't drink enough, but I'm actually not thirsty. And it's hard because your body, it takes a while to get used to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's because our body only reports contrast. It filters out constants. So have that little mantra in you. Oh, my body filters out constants. So if you're constantly thirsty, it filters out the thirst response in your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why it's really good to, and you could, if you've got strategies to help increase water, you could say, right, once a week, I'm going to drink an extra litre, because on that day I can get to the toilet more easily. Yeah. And because you're creating a contrast, your body then reports the thirst during the rest of the week.
Oh, that's a really useful tool.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could
that's a really useful tool. And does our hydration level also affect our cholesterol level?
Yeah. So if we're dehydrated, the body, that creates a stress response in the body. And the body starts building cholesterol around the cell membrane so that it doesn't lose any more water. Yeah.
Wow.
Dehydration raises your cholesterol levels. Yeah. And this
that is fascinating. That is fascinating. So drinking more water can reduce period pains and it can reduce cholesterol levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And because it reduces stress levels, it helps improve your sleep. Do you see? Coming back to the sleep thing.
Coming back to the sleep and talking on sleep, by the way, but hydration also improves our sleep because it ensures we produce enough melatonin to help us feel sleepy when we go to bed. And it also helps us to regulate our core body temperature, which has to drop before we go to sleep. So again, by being hydrated, it helps us to fall asleep by regulating our core body temperature. And also it stops us waking up in the middle of the night because we're thirsty.
Yeah.
Which disrupts our sleep cycle.
So how does hydration help us produce more melatonin? Because that's what you said, wasn't it? Hydration helps us produce more melatonin.
It just helps us produce melatonin, whereas if we don't drink enough, our melatonin levels might not be high enough.
Okay.
And then we don't feel sleepy.
Right, that's interesting.
So it's much like everything we've been looking at today. It just keeps the body functioning.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so maybe because it's a dehydration creates a stress response, and a stress response inhibits the melatonin production.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So, Alison, practical steps. How can our listeners improve their hydration? Should we, if they think, oh yeah, I'm one of those people who drinks 1 glass a day, should they be increasing gradually? Like maybe 1 extra glass a day?
Yeah, so if you want to do it like that, because we did talk about choosing one day where we say, right, let's just aim to have an extra litre. But if you think, oh no, I want to start changing my habits throughout the week gradually, then I would suggest, and if you're drinking tea and coffee, start substituting, because caffeinated drinks cause you to get dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
You're substituting a caffeinated drink with water. Not only does the drink doesn't get you dehydrated, it hydrates you. So you've taken 2 steps forward. Do you see?
Yeah.
So that's a really good way to do it. And I say do it gradually, because if you're dehydrated, going back to that cholesterol around the cell, If you're dehydrated and you drink loads of water, it's like a dried pot plant. If it's really dry and you pour the water on, it just rushes out the other end.
Right.
The cholesterol prevents things from being absorbed into the cell. So you need to do it gradually so the stress response reduces, so the cholesterol then starts dissolving around the cell, and then you can absorb more water. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So do it slowly. You reckon one extra glass a day. And does that let the bladder get used to it as well? So you're not rushing to the loo all the time if you do it bit by bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I definitely drink a lot more than I used to, say 2 years ago. And, I'm not rushing to the loo all the time.
Brilliant.
Because my body's got used to it. So, I'm an ardent coffee lover, Alison.
Yeah.
Is decaf coffee a step in the right decafeinated for people who normally drink caffeinated coffee?
Yeah, I think that decaffeinated is definitely a step forward to getting hydrated. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still a drink, because if you're drinking decaffeinated coffee, when you taste it on your lips, your body thinks, oh, that's food. So
Right.
it processes it differently. So don't think, oh, if I'm having decaffeinated coffee, then that's hydrating me, the same as water. No, it doesn't.
Right. Okay. But it's a step forward because it's not actively it's not got caffeine, it's not got so much caffeine in it.
It's not got so much caffeine in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the
And
caffeine creates stress, which is the cholesterol build up, and then your body can't absorb it. Yeah.
okay. And what super practical tips can we give to our listeners? I mean, is it helpful? I usually keep a big glass of water by my bed so that first thing in the morning, for some bizarre reason, I find it easy to just drink.
Yeah.
And so I do that every morning. And then I know I've got one glass down. That I find that useful. Is it useful to swap, instead of drinking tea and coffee all day? Maybe we're in an office environment and there's constant tea or coffee. Does it work to just have hot water?
So going back to what you said about the water, excuse me, you water by your bed to drink water first thing. So during the night, your body starts eliminating the toxins.
Yeah.
It comes through our tongue. Yeah. Comes through the bladder and the bowels. But it also comes through our tongue. So our tongue is coated with toxins.
Uh-huh.
Much better if you wash your mouth out first. So brush your tongue, rinse your mouth out, and then drink your water. Because otherwise you're just swallowing all the toxins back again.
Huh.
Yeah. So I don't advocate having right by the bed. Have it somewhere else. So you've got up, you've gone to the bathroom. Hopefully you're ready for a bowel movement. I mean, everyone's different, but you're going to the wee, having a bowel movement, brushing your tongue. So you've eliminated all those 3 routes. Great. And then drink your water. Yeah.
That again, I find fascinating. So basically we eliminate, apart from through the urinary tract and the bladder, we also eliminate through the tongue.
Yeah, that's why we have bad breath in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want to take it a step further, you could use an oil wash.
Uh-huh.
So before you do anything, you still haven't brushed your tongue, rinse your mouth. You just have a little bit of oil and you spritz that around your mouth. So the oil stimulates an elimination routine in your body. Yeah, so your body will then start purging. When I first did this, I could feel all this coming up here into my saliva glands and producing my saliva. And it came all the way from the soles of my feet, up my legs, along here, around my armpits. It was amazing.
Wow.
So that helps improve elimination. So then you spit the oil out and then you wash your mouth. and then have your water.
So oil first, then get rid of the oil, and then brush the tongue, brush the teeth.
Because a lot of people use coffee to get their bowels moving, because coffee has a strong elimination response on the body.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think, well, I really like coffee in the morning, and I ask my clients, well, why is that then? Underneath it all, they realize it's because they want to have a bowel movement. So if they can have a bowel movement with the oil wash instead of the coffee, they don't feel they need the coffee. Yeah.
Interesting. And you mentioned also earlier exercise snacks.
Yeah, so coffee, people often want coffee because it's a stimulant. They say, oh, my energy is really low and I just felt as if I needed it. And I say, well, okay, before you have the coffee, just go and do some very light exercise, whatever that may be for you. So if my client's a runner, light exercise would be a 3-minute run for them. But if my client just walks and doesn't do much exercise, then I'd say just do a 3-minute walk. Yeah.
Right.
And if you can do something that's up a hill, or if you're in an office and you find some stairs, go up the stairs. Yeah. So it gets your body circulating, improves oxygenation for your cells. And then you might, and then say, right, and then I'm going to have some water. And then if I still feel like coffee, I can have a coffee afterwards. Yeah. So you're not
very interesting. And presumably I could just do star jumps wherever I am as well, just to get that body moving.
Yeah. And if you do star jumps and turn to the 4 directions, that's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a bit boring facing one way all the time. So keep turning. You jump one way, jump the other way, jump the other way, jump the other way, jump the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know. And what does it help if we eat foods that have a high water content?
Yeah, so that's really good. If your diet consists of things like bread, rice cakes, oat cakes, crackers, those sorts of things, they're much more hydrating than fruit and vegetables. Yeah, or soups. Yeah. Yeah, so you can get hydrated by just changing your food. If you tend to eat a lot of dehydrating food, you know what, I'm just going to change that. But food sometimes is a harder thing to change. So
yeah.
Okay.
And so that you've just had your first book published, Alison, haven't you? Which is fantastic news. And it's called The Jigsaw Method. Oh, there we are. The Jigsaw Method, Building Balance into Your Diet with the Power of the Moon. And it is £12.98 on Amazon. And it includes a whole chapter on rehydrating.
Yeah.
Using some of what we've talked about today, but also a whole load of other fascinating, really practical tips.
Yeah. Yeah, because when people work with me, they often say, oh, my sleep's improved. Yeah, because they're getting hydrated.
Excellent.
Great.
Excellent. So if any of our listeners would like to know more, please do contact either Alison or myself. Our contact details are on our websites.
Yeah, but if we just say it now, so my website is integratinghealth.com. And my name's Alison Marsden. And your website, Melanie?
My website is called Headrest Meditation, and my name is Melanie Lovatt.
Great. Yeah, so shall we summarise what we've just talked about, so people can go in a snapshot of what we've just said?
Yeah, good plan. So water, how much we should be drinking? 1.5 to 2 litres a day, depending on where we are, our size, how active we are. Is that right, Alison?
Yeah, what the temperature is. You might find you only need 1 litre, but maybe some people might need 5 litres. Yeah.
Okay.
Really hot and they're manual worker, they might end up having 5 litres in a day. Yeah.
Okay. And it just why do we need to drink water? Well, it just keeps everything working, doesn't it? It keeps the whole system working.
Yeah,
in
we're
way.
mainly water. Keep in mind, you're mainly water. Our muscles are mainly water. Yeah. Our brain is mainly water. So that's when our body is constantly regenerating our cells. So if a cell gets old and it needs rebuilding, your body's going to need water to build it. Yeah.
Right. And the practical tips, things that people can start doing straight away to help them, is to increase gradually. Yeah. So 1 extra glass a day, so that their body gets used to it and their bladder gets used to it. Swapping tea and coffee for maybe hot water, just so they don't even notice they're doing it, or some of it, just swap out some of it, so it's more manageable.
Or start, if you're drinking lots of caffeinated, start drinking decaffeinated and get a really good source, so it's not being decaffeinated with lots of chemicals. So, or naturally decaffeinated. So you could get naturally decaffeinated tea, like nettle tea, fennel tea, sage tea. Yeah.
Right. But this is all on the route to drinking just water.
Yeah.
This is ultimately initial substitution to get us off the caffeinated drinks.
Yeah, because water is the best way to get hydrated, not flavored water.
Not flavored water, just pure water.
Pure water.
And also we mentioned eating foods that have a high water content, which again helps us slowly over time for our body to become more hydrated.
And we want to do it gradually because of that cholesterol that builds up around the cell. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great. Well,
thank you, Alison.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Melanie. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, sleep and hydration. They're so important, aren't they?
So important. Excellent.
Okay. Thanks, Melanie. Bye.
Bye for now.